Hi, if you're like me, you're trying to find a way to make a test in Google Forms that also contains equations. I am going to give a quick overview of how I'm going to do it. I'm sure there's other ways out there, and I'm definitely interested in hearing any ways to improve on this overall process. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up the Google Drive, which I have on the screen, and I'm going to click New, More, Google Forms. And when I do that, I get a traditional Google form document. I can type a name of it, so sample test. That'll autofill down in here. I can have a description. This is a math test. I'm going to go up to the gear settings in the upper right hand corner, click on that, and I'm going to turn this into a quiz. If you click on the far right on quizzes, you can make this a quiz. You can use the lockdown Chrome browser. Once we have Chromebooks, we can require the students use those Chromebooks, and that will prevent them from being able to click off of the screen that they're on. I do plan on using this, but for now, since not every student has a Chromebook, we're not going to be able to do this. I am going to set this up for myself for a later review, just so that I have a chance to go through the grades before they're released. But you can easily set this up that once the student hits submit, they get the grades back. Respondents can see the missed questions, correct answers, and point values. You can make your decision on that as well. The other item I'm going to select is under presentation. When you go in here, I'm going to shuffle the question order. That way it makes the question a little bit harder for the students to cheat on. They will have different orders to their questions. I hit save. Once inside of here, I can start to make my questions. If I want a multiple choice question or a question that's an open-ended question, essay question, I can select what type of question I want to have. The big thing that I want to show you is how Equatio works and how that can save us all a lot of time. You will see this little blue box which says insert math. This is something you will see on a North Pocono computer, the program Equatio, which is up in the extension bar. You may need to log into it, but it is deployed into all of our district computers. It was something that we had requested as a group this past summer. So you're going to want to click on that Equatio button that's up in your menu bar. Then when you come, you might get this screen that pops up. It's quiz time. You might have to log in. There's a couple different things that could pop up here. Log in, click OK. And then when you come down into this area here and you want to start to record your question, you can click on the microphone. This window will pop up. You can then record what it is that you want to type. You may, when you press the record button, get prompted to allow the microphone to be used, but you want to click on this red record button. 2x plus y squared is equal to z. You want to hit the pause button when you're done. You'll notice that the speech popped up over here, and over here on the right, you have a neatly typed equation. You can then insert that math. You'll get that box that just appeared. You can say insert, and you'll notice that it goes right down here. So I can then put up in my question, solve the following equation for x equals 3. I can then allow this to be a short answer problem where the students will type in their answer. I would mark this as required, or I could select this as a multiple choice type question where I put in possible answers for this. You could add additional answers. One of the things you want to do or might want to consider doing is down in the right-hand corner. If you are doing a multiple choice, you can select down here the shuffle order option that will shuffle A, B, C, D for each student. That gives them yet another unique portion to their test, so their questions are in the same order and their answers in multiple choice are not in the same order. So you would want to select that. Let me put in some answers here. So let's say I put in here 2, 2i, 5. I can pick anything we want to put in here. We know the answer to this is going to be 2i, so you can click that value. You can assign it a certain amount of points. I want this to be a 4-point question, a 3-point question. You can add feedback for each of these areas as well. So you can add feedback in for correct and incorrect answers. Incorrect answers, if you want to say, sorry, that is incorrect, don't forget that the square root of a negative number is I. Something like that, a little suggestion. You can feel free to do that. You can also record yourself, add links to other documents. I don't think any of us are going to do that for an exam. Maybe you are, but those are the things that you do have the option of doing. Very basic though is you want it to auto score, so you want to select the correct answer and give it a point value. So now at this point we have randomization, we have the correct answer, we've entered numbers in here that are in mathematical form and standard notation type form. And now that the test is made, this is only a 1-question test for me, but you can make as many questions as you want. We want to send it to the students. We have the option of sending it to the students and having it graded here in Google Forms, and then having to manually transfer these grades into the Google Classroom or eventually into Infinite Campus. But if you want to have the grades pushed through, what you can do is you can go into your Google Classroom. You can go to whichever class that you want to do this in, and under classwork, then click create assignment. You can click a quiz assignment if you want to start from scratch here. But then you can't import this into other classes, make modifications, make copies for future classes, and modify just certain questions. So you could just click on assignment, and it is very important that once you do click on assignment, the way you import this form is not by pasting the link to the form into the assignment, but by going to add and then clicking the Google Drive option. You then can go to your drive. It might be in your recent, but usually it's in your drive. You find the assignment. The assignment I have is here, sample test.
Okay, and so now you'll notice that sample test is here. I can title this sample test or whatever I want to call it, give some instructions. I can mark here grade import. This will automatically pull the grades into the Google Classroom gradebook. And then if you have the Google Classroom to Infinite Campus link set up, you can send the grades over to Infinite Campus from there. Again, you could lock mode onto the Chromebooks, set up a due date, a start time, which will limit this so that the students will only see this, and it'll open it up only for a specific amount of time. So you can set a due date, time, and then you can mark it scheduled to deploy at the time you want, limiting when students have access to this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always glad to help, and I am definitely looking for ways to improve. So if you have any ways to make this whole process better, I would be glad to collaborate with you on that. Have a great day.